Hey guys, hope you're having a good evening. Welcome to tonight's video, the video where I'm going to teach you how to hunt ghosts. Okay, so technically there isn't really one specific way how to hunt ghosts, but I'm just going to be going over some ideas, some things that I do when I hunt ghosts, and I also want to go through the equipment that I use when I go ghost hunting or do an investigation because I've had some questions come up on what type of equipment I use, so I thought I should just show you. So first thing, whenever I go into any type of investigation, I always remember to be respectful, and I mean respectful of the location and respectful of the spirits that are there. When you walk into a location, you have to remember that space is not yours. You're there just for the night to do your investigation. The house, the apartment, the hospital, wherever you're at, it's not yours. So be respectful of the place. Don't litter, don't vandalize, don't do any of that crap, okay? Also, be respectful of the spirits that might be there. They've been there a lot longer than you have, so if you're going into a location, ask them questions, don't demand them. Don't yell at the spirits, don't curse at them thinking that you're going to get a better response.
You worthless piece of slime! You ignorant, disgusting blob!
You're nothing but an unstable short-chain molecule!
You foul, obnoxious moth!
Be respectful, and hopefully you'll gather good evidence. So now let's get into some of the equipment, and when I go over each piece of equipment, I'll also give you some tips and tricks and just how I use the equipment to kind of get the best results. So first, of course, since I like to make these YouTube videos and create videos for you guys, my first piece of equipment is always my camera. Some tips when you are shooting. Of course, there's times where you're going to have the camera on you, like YouTubers usually do. But for the majority of the time, face your camera away from you. You are there, you're in that location to catch anything that might happen in your environment. My biggest pet peeve is when somebody goes into an investigation and the camera is on them the entire time. And then all you hear throughout the entire video is, "Did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see that?" No, I didn't see anything because the camera was pointed at your face the entire time. I didn't see a shadow. I didn't see a figure because the video was facing you, not the environment. So that's kind of like my biggest pet peeve when people investigate. And you'll see, like when I did the Villisca Axe Murder House videos, of course there's times where you have to have the camera on you because you're talking, you're updating your audience. But other times, like when we are doing a group EVP session or a group ghost box session, you'll see that I set the camera up so that it is on us, but it also captures the entire room around us in case anything were to happen. You want to get that on camera. You're not there to film yourself, you're there to catch evidence. So try and keep that in mind when you're going on a location to investigate. Try to remember to set up your shots so that you're getting the most of the environment in, so that if something does happen, you're going to get it on your camera. The other camera that I use is this little itty bitty camera. I don't even know if it's name brand. Like it's really a cheap camera. And the only reason I have it is because it does night vision. And a lot of times I like to use night vision just to set it up and leave it running when we're not there. And I did that again in the Villisca videos. And we caught a couple different orbs. We also caught some EVPs using it. So I like to use just a plain night vision camera, set it up somewhere when you're not in the room and just let it roll. See if you catch anything. The next piece of equipment that I don't always bring, honestly, I don't bring it. I rarely ever use it. And it's a voice recorder to catch EVPs. I don't use this a lot of times to try and catch EVPs because honestly, it is so boring to sit for an hour and a half and just listen to audio recordings and try to hear something. What I do, I try to listen for EVPs within my videos. So obviously I'm recording video, but it's also capturing audio, and at least that way I can be looking in the environment to see if there's any shadows or figures, and I can be listening for any EVPs that might pop up. So sometimes I'll bring a digital voice recorder for capturing EVPs, but a lot of times I just use my camera because, girl, this is boring to listen to for an hour and a half. The next thing that I bring, and it's like the essential thing, the most important thing that I bring besides my camera, is a spirit box. And I have two different ones. I'll kind of go over each one a little bit, but these spirit boxes, they are specifically designed and created to rapidly filter through like radio stations or FM stations, but they are detuned because they're not supposed to pick up regular broadcasted radio stations that, you know, a radio show is being broadcast on, because you don't want that outside interference coming through. You don't want to pick up a TV or radio talk show and think it's a ghost, because it's not, it's just a radio talk show. So these are specifically detuned so that they don't pick up common radio stations. So the first one is the PSB7, and this one is my favorite. It's the easiest to work. It's very small. You can take it wherever you go. I just really like it. So it just, like any spirit box, it rapidly filters through different radio stations, and the ghosts are supposed to use that and the white noise to be able to talk to you, and I think it works really well. It works. It does a great job. Highly recommend it. This one, the second one, is a little bit more complicated, and I don't think it produces as good of evidence as the small one. So unlike the small one, you only have one channel that it rapidly goes through. This one, you have channel 1 and channel 2. So you can program one to go through AM stations, and you can program one to go through FM stations. You can also program this one to filter through going forward or filter through going in reverse. So it has a lot more function to it. This one also, if you can see, I don't know, down here, it also has a temperature gauge. So you can use this to see if there's any temperature fluctuations in the room. I don't know how reliable it is though. A lot of times I'll use it like you saw in the MichaelScot videos. So this one is what we're using when we're asking the ghost to create that beeping sound.
Can you do that again? Can you make it beep? Thank you.
I think it works best for that. You can get responses that way by asking the ghost to make a sound through this box. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But like I said before, I don't think this produces as good of evidence as this one does. Now they also have apps that you can use on your phone, and personally, I'm not fond of the apps at all, because one, these are specifically designed to rapidly go through radio frequencies, AM and FM. The apps that you have are said to do the same thing, but your iPhone doesn't have the tuner required to even pick up AM or FM signals. Plus, on all the apps, it says for entertainment purposes only. I don't trust the apps. I think a developer can program them to say whatever they want, and when you're using them, it asks you, can it use your location? So sometimes they're using your location, they're listening to you, and just kind of filtering what words it's going to spit back out at you through what you're saying and your location. I think using a spirit box, a regular spirit box, will give you much more credible evidence than using an app, because you never know who developed the app and what they programmed it to do. When you're using a spirit box, it's very important that when you're asking a question, give the spirit time to respond. Some people like to go in and just shoot off questions like, say hello, where are you? Are you in this room? Can you hear me? When you do that, you give the spirit no time at all to respond. So when you're using a spirit box, ask a question, wait 30 seconds, see if you hear something. If not, then ask the next question. Also, what you can do in the beginning of your spirit box session, explain to the spirits what this is. Because a lot of times when you're going in to do an investigation, a lot of the spirits are from a time period that they didn't have these. If you're a ghost from 1912 and you see this, you're probably thinking, what the hell is that? Explain to them, this is a device that I can use to help communicate with you. Use it. Speak into the device. Say hello really loud for me. When you start getting responses, try to have a conversation with the ghost, because then you can really tell if it's an intelligent haunting or not. If you're able to have a conversation, a back and forth, then you can really decide or determine that the spirit knows that you're there and can hear what you're saying and then can talk to you. You're not always going to get a response, and that's the most important thing for people to know, is that when you're doing an investigation, you're not always going to get responses. You're not going to always hear knocking and banging or disembodied voices or see shadows or see spirits. And if people are going into a location and every single location they're going into, they're like, I saw a full figure ghost. They whispered in my ear, they tugged on my hair, they threw me down the stairs. Like, no, that doesn't happen that way. You don't always get evidence. And if people are saying that something happens to them every single time, and I mean something major, I don't know, you could probably discredit all of their work, especially if they don't have evidence to back it up. If all you're seeing them say is, oh my god, did you see that, and you never see anything, I don't know.
Hickman! I saw it!
It's right here, Ray. It's looking at me.
The last piece of equipment that I carry is an EMF detector, and I really don't carry this a lot because I feel like it can produce false positives. So you can see there's a green light here, and whenever any type of electromagnetic field influences it, you'll see it go up. The lights will go up to a red. But a lot of times, cell phone interference, electricity, electrical outlets, cameras, lights can interfere with this. So if you're going to use an EMF detector, first put it in the middle of the room, place it on the floor, place it away from any type of electricity. Let it sit there for a minute or two to make sure that you're not getting any false readings, so that you're not getting any like spikes from electrical outlets or anything like that. Put it down in the middle of the room, wait, make sure it's staying at the green. Then you can start using the spirit to communicate with it. And again, they're probably not going to know what this is. So let them know that they can communicate with you through this device. Tell them to go up to the device, touch it. Tell them to make the light turn to red. If you're in that controlled environment and the light does start moving, then it could be a spirit influencing it. But like I said before, I don't use it that often. But this weekend when I go to the Roosevelt Hotel, I'm going to bring this. I'm going to bring my EMF detector. I'm also going to bring my spirit box. I'm going to bring my night vision camera. Those are my favorite things to bring besides my camera. That's always with me anyway. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you weren't too bored. I just wanted to share with you some tips and tricks that I've learned from doing my investigations. Maybe they'll help you out when you go do your investigation. I'm going to leave the links to all these products in the description below so that you can check them out on Amazon if you want, whatever. Like I said, some of these pieces of equipment I like a lot, and some that I don't. I really like the spirit boxes, the actual box, not the app. And I also really, bring your camera. Honestly, filming on your iPhone or your camera, you're gonna get visual and you're gonna get audio. So it's like 2-in-1. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure and give it a like because it really does help my video out. YouTube is just crazy right now, and supposedly if you get more likes, then your video will be featured more on pages. I don't know how it all works. I just know that it's supposed to help you out. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a like. If you're here for the first time, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in my next video.